What's up, interwebs? My name is Cravol, and welcome back to Cravol Sucks at Arena. So previously, we got an epic draw. We did lose one. Again, that Consecration and Azure Drake, I believe, is what is going to make the difference between a really good run and what is, for me, a fairly average run. But, yeah, I hadn't really heard a lot of feedback about this series, but I'm at least going to finish off one run. And hopefully by then, either someone steps forward and says that this is boring and I should stop, or someone steps forward and says that they really enjoyed it and I should keep going. One or the other. So, for this one, there's just one match. We get matched up with the Rexar, and spoiler alert, I do actually win this one. You can see me here drawing the Scaled Nightmare right off the bat, and it is, if I remember correctly, yeah, I get rid of equality and trade in for a better minion. And I haven't honestly watched this clip in a while, so I won't remember too well what exactly happens. I remember that the Scaled Nightmare and also the Argent Watchman do play reasonably big parts in this, but you'll have to see as you go on. I've got the Worgen Infiltrator and the Fairy Dragon, both of which are very good anti-removal, and I go ahead and put down that Argent Watchman and attack with the Worgen first, because I know that I can just hero power, get an attack in that turn. But yeah, let's see what happens here, because again, I don't remember too well. So yeah, I instantly hero power, and I do end up putting out the Fairy Dragon. In all honesty, I probably should have waited on that one, because that is, you know, if he had any sort of board removal, which I don't remember if he does, that's going to absolutely cripple me at that point, from what I've got right then. And he unleashes the Hounds, and I'm just glad that he doesn't have a Timberwolf or anything. You can see me looking at that, because that's a card that I really like, and that I use in pretty much every Hunter deck. But thankfully it's just that, and he board controls a bit, and leaves me with some stuff left. And I plop down, I have to think about it a moment, and I end up hero powering again to get the attack in, and also have the Young Priestess out, which honestly I might have waited on, but it's a reasonable body. It baits them out with some removal stuff, because they're going to want to get rid of that one pretty quickly. And yeah, they take out the Argent Watchman completely on accident. They were targeting either that one or Young Priestess most likely. And they hero power and end their turn with nothing better to do. And I actually draw into Stand Against the Darkness, which is a very good card. There's a lot of people, surprisingly enough for me, that really didn't see this that good of a card, but it gives you a lot more board fill up, and even if they're wimpy minions that can't attack quite yet, if you've managed to bait out the majority of your opponent's board clears, that can make a major difference there. And actually, the dream that I've been hoping to have at some point and thinking about rolling a deck based around this is Hobgoblin and Darkshire Steward, and then do that one and end up getting 5 3/3s all with Divine Shield. But obviously we can't always get what we want, and I lose the majority of my board there to maintain board control and attack phase, which honestly is painful, but it's a good choice because it gives me more to work with, and less for him to work with. And he lays down that Lord of the Arena, which is a harsher one, and I stupidly, that's probably one of the major mistakes in this round, is I use Keeper of Oldmum on the Priestess in a situation where if he wants to, she's dead, just period. So that was a stupid choice on my part, and if I remember correctly, she does actually end up dying, but it is what it is. And he actually, I was a bit impressed that he got that many Murloc cards in the Arena deck, but not only that got the draw, to use them. That being said, arena decks, you generally speaking do not want to focus on a single type of minion. That being said, if you can manage to get the draw, no one's going to be expecting it. So I plop, I think about it a while, and I end up deciding, if I remember correctly, to board clear, and then plop down that scaled nightmare. If I remember correctly. Or, oh yeah, I missed that one. And go straight to face, and I plop down, yep, Crazed Scientist and Scaled Nightmare. And the 3/3 Worgen is actually, I forget what it's called at this point, Enraged Worgen, something like that. It's a very good minion as well, so that I hadn't honestly thought about it until that moment. But honestly, if you're able to roll it, especially if you're rolling Warrior or something, you should totally do it, because the Wind Fury and Enrage effect can help you do a ton of damage. And, alright, yeah, so I've got the Divine Strength, and I end up also using, I believe, Forbidden Healing on the Scaled Nightmare, which, honestly, I didn't really need to, and had I done that and he'd basically turned the match around, it wouldn't have gone well. I'd also played the Scarlet Purifier, which honestly was again probably a pretty stupid choice on my part, because it affected more of my minions than his, but the Death Rattle effects were helpful, and I mean, yes, it did, it took out one of his, but it also allowed me to get the right amount of mana cost and another body on the board. And again, had he had a way of surviving, that would have been a stupid choice. But at that point, I'd won with my super duper powerful Nightmare on the board. And I whittle him down and then smash away. So all in all, a reasonably good game. I have not yet finished this run. I'm hopeful to do that soon. But yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you have any tips or ideas, thoughts about it, go ahead and leave those in the comments. And hopefully this run goes reasonably well, because we did get a good draw as I'm showing off here, and